Anita here and welcome to another art chat. Now this is our first chat where I'm having a face-to-face with you guys. And just a disclaimer, I'm still testing the whole face cam thing and I'm really nervous and I have no idea if this setup is going to last. So just bear in mind that it might be, there might be some minor accidents and yeah, that's pretty much it. So today, the reason why I'm actually using a face cam is because on the 1st of June was like my half a year anniversary. I started taking YouTube really seriously on the 1st of January, and so I thought, I wanted to add something extra. And because today we are doing a review of the 30-day challenge, so I thought, you know what, it's just kind of fitting to have a face cam, and I wanted to try this for a while. Ever since I started streaming, when I actually got the second camera that I'm using right now. And so that's why, we're trying a face cam, so please let me know if you like it, if I should just stop or if I should continue it. This definitely will not transfer to speed paints just because it's not necessary, but I thought it would be nice for these little chats we have. And so, yeah. I have my sketchbook here. This is the Moleskine. This is an A4 Folio. I think that's how it's called. It's like this very, very expensive sketchbook that I've received for Christmas. And I'm sorry if I'm looking up a lot because that's where my camera is. So yeah. So this is the sketchbook I've received for Christmas this year because I wanted to use it for the 52-week illustration challenge. However, despite the fact that it has a really nice thick paper, it actually is absolutely rubbish when it comes to watercolor. And I was really disappointed because I was expecting some amazing results, from a very expensive sketchbook. And I know this is not perhaps as expensive as some sketchbooks are, but you have to remember that my most expensive sketchbook before this one was like €10. So a sketchbook for 24, that's, a different level for me. But I really like it, and I'm using it every day right now. I've been using it for the past 30 days. And I have to say, it's keeping up really nicely with the abuse. So we're gonna flip through it. And if this is the first video you're watching, my video, then for the past 30 days I've been doing one sketch a day in this book. And this was a 30-day sketchbook challenge, which was started by Juicy Ink, Tori. And every link and every person I'm talking about will be in the description below. So check there if you're not sure about something. And also I will add the link to the playlist. If you have not watched my videos and would like to see what I'm talking about, then please be welcome to browse. But yeah, so the first page, the first spread of this sketchbook is actually a swatch page. I've swatched every single thing, every single supply I've been using, except the newest graphic pens that I've received. Just didn't have time to do that yet. But we have the very first small batch of Copics that I've received, that I had, and that's what I started drawing with. And then I pulled out the Molotv pens. I bought some pens at the art store. And then just recently I got a bunch of Copics from a friend of mine. And that's basically this. And I have to tell you that this really helped a lot. When I was drawing and I had a sketch ready, I just flipped to this part and I just looked at the colors and I kind of pulled out a color scheme for myself, and I would pull it to the side, and that's what I would use. Or if I was stuck with some color and wanted an extra one, I would just compare it to all the other ones. And this is a very good idea. It's the same idea as with the watercolor color chart which we do when you get a new set. And you do it on the paper that you're using so that you can see how it affects the colors. Since this is a creamy paper. So yeah, the first sketch, I started this challenge on the 5th of May. So 5th of May, and then the funniest part is that this video will be up on the 5th of June, since I'm recording it on the 4th of June, so exactly a month later, which is crazy. And the first sketch here, I started this challenge. Maybe let's start with that. I started this challenge. I'm really worried that this part will be dark. I'm sorry for that if it is. So I started this challenge because, of course, I was inspired by Juicy Ink. I thought it was something really amazing that she could do a video a day. It's just incredible. And I really wanted to do some kind of very fast challenge just to prove to myself that I could. Because the 52-week challenge, even though it's going really well, it will be another half a year before we finish it. So I just wanted something like, quick gratification. I'm not gonna lie, it's really something to help me boost my confidence. And I figured if I would really go through it, it would really help me believe in myself that I can do it. And that was the very, noble thing. And then there were the less noble idea, which basically I wanted to have more content on YouTube that would make money for me, because my videos are of course monetized, and you guys are watching commercials and I get cents for it. So it's not much, but it adds up after a while, and every penny matters to an artist, especially a starting one. That's why it's that was the less noble cause, but important one. Yep. So yeah, sorry guys, I keep checking that side there. That's where my monitor is, to see if I'm still in the. I should be like this. I don't know. I'm really. This is my very first time. I think I'm actually doing something with my face cam, so it's a bit awkward. So the first sketch was just something I saw on Pinterest. I get inspired by Pinterest a lot during this challenge, and just on everyday basis. And there was this picture of a wedding dress, and it was embroidered with white flowers, which is very. I just wanted to paint it. I wanted to use the colors. I just wanted to use something simple. I rarely get to paint just female figures, just in those really simple poses. There's no action. She's just standing there, And it was very exciting for me because I really don't get to do that often. I always try to have a real story behind my pictures for the 52-week challenge, and when I don't have that, there were a few pieces like that, I don't feel good about it. So, because I feel like that is a big piece, that's a real illustration, not just a sketch. So it should have more effort put in it, I suppose. That's just my style, that's how I work. So this thing is really refreshing, I have to say, really, really refreshing to draw. And I was very happy with this one. And the first few sketches, I had a lot of energy. So it was really easy to come up with something I wanted to draw. And I don't have many opportunities to paint with Copics, so I was trying things out. I was really experimenting how things would layer, how the colors would look together. If I could use, I don't know, the acrylic here. This is the first time I think I've used the acrylic. Yes. The acrylic pens. Just because when I started layering all the greens, it became one mass, and I wanted more contrast. So it was a process of experimentation. And another picture of a girl. I don't get to do them often, so it was exciting a lot. And the idea behind this, I wanted to draw a girl with a head thingy, with a head. How do you call these things? A garland? No. A wreath? No, I really don't know. Please tell me. Please correct me. And next thing was this Game of Thrones inspired piece. I am not a fan of Game of Thrones. I said it not. I love the story. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore the story. I'm not a fan of the TV show. It bores me to death. It upsets me on so many different levels, and I can't watch it. But I love the costumes. I love the Like if it's a still, you know, a screenshot, I can handle that. But more than that, not really. So here, you know, the Game of Thrones just started around that time. This is the 7th of May. And so I was just inspired just to draw this dress with very flowy, big sleeves. That was the idea here. And I wanted to have this fan that was a little bit transparent. So that was fun. And here I'm still using a lot of Copics and colored pencils. And I'm trying to use gold. That was another thing that I don't get to do often in my original paintings, like big paintings. Because I really dislike that I have to do a lot to, when I digitize my work, to get rid of that very awful color that the gold gets while you scan it. So I don't use it, just to make things easier for myself. So that's why I could go completely loose in the sketches, which is awesome. And once I started, I couldn't stop. So this is like here, it's very gentle. I mean, in the first sketch, you have the lines, but you can barely see them. I mean, I used one of the Sigma pens. I will put every single material I've used in the whole sketchbook in the description, so you'll probably find them there. But I've used these gold pens from the same brand as my most favorite white gel pen, and it turned out that it was just not good. And so I was disappointed in that, but I still kept using it, and I used it here on this one. I wanted to use a little scene, just a tiny one, just something different. And mostly for you guys. I've noticed that that's another thing I will be talking about. These little illustrations were mostly for you guys. I do not sketch like that at all. Even though it's called a 30-day sketchbook challenge, I think, you know, it's a very apt name. Sketchbook challenge. These are things in the sketchbook, but it's not really a sketch challenge. I think that was one of the things, because I was confused at some point when I realized that I was showing you guys something that was not really true. This is not how I really sketch. My sketchbooks are really messy. And to prove to you guys, I'm going to show you that I have my sketchbook here. This is my regular sketchbook. And for example, these are my sketches. This is how I sketch. This is how I sketch. I don't add any color to it. I'm very messy when I sketch. And so everything above that basic line is purely for you guys, for your viewing pleasure, because let's be honest, it would be okay if I was drawing just for myself, but I make these videos for you guys, for your viewing pleasure, and so that you can enjoy it. And this is more interesting than just a regular sketch. So that's... I just want you to understand that this is not how a real sketchbook looks like. This is just a collection of tiny illustrations in a sketchbook. And don't have to feel pressured to have the same level of detail and, you know, time put in it, because I always feel bad when I see all those beautiful sketchbooks that people create, that artists create. And I feel like because mine don't look the same, that there's something wrong with me, you know, that I'm not as good as an artist as I would like to be. And that makes me feel bad, you know, that's the problem with comparing yourself to others. And so I just want you to understand that it's, you know, I don't want anyone to feel bad because of it. I mean, I would, probably, I think. But just back on topic, this is really, really cute. I really like this illustration. Especially that gold polka dot in the background. It's actually quite even, which is surprising, because I tend to make up those really little patterns, and then by the end of the pattern, like it starts really neat, and then by the end it's all wonky, and it's crazy. My hair everywhere, sorry guys. I'm not going to edit that out. There is a certain thing that gets added, certain level of commitment. No, I'm just not going to edit anything, because I already have to worry about how I look on camera. So no, nothing will be edited. It's very raw and how it really is. Next thing is the mermaid. And I was going like, by this time I was starting to feel really, good about the sketchbook challenge. It was the day 5th, I believe. Yes. And I was really confident, and I'm still checking myself in the monitor. Never mind. And I've decided there is an artist called Shartula on Instagram, and she uses a washi tape in her paintings. And I was really interested and really curious about how that worked. So I wanted to try it myself, and this was the first attempt with this one, with this technique. And I'm also extremely happy with her face. It's a very expressive face that sometimes I don't know where they come from. It's like, this is not something that I normally draw, and I don't know if this is my real style or just an accidental something that, just by, it's a fluke. It's a fluke. Number 6. Number 6 is the very first of a wide variety of my gold pieces where I've discovered the gold ink. This is a Winsor Newton gold ink, and this thing is so shiny and so hard to use because it clumps in the bottle because of all the little gold particles that are flowing around. But it's so satisfying to use, guys. It's just unbelievable. It's shiny, it's beautiful, it's metallic, and it doesn't look. I'm rubbing it. And it doesn't, other stuff comes on my, what is that? Why is it so dark? But the gold does not come off. I think I just pulled something. I think I pulled off the ink from the fineliner. But the gold doesn't come off, which really surprised me. Because it's so shiny, you would expect it to flake off, but it doesn't. And so this piece is another very simple thing, and it was inspired by swallows. There's plenty of them in the neighborhood here. And I really love those birds. They're probably my favorite birds ever. I really like tiny birds, they're so cute. Another one, this one was a request actually, someone in the comments, and I really don't have any memory for names. I always feel bad about it. But it's not like I'm being mean or something. I just don't remember. And so someone asked me how I did my one of those patterned pieces from a showcase, just a showcase of my art. I had this vintage piece, and so this was like another pattern with a cacti, because cacti are everywhere and just everybody draws them and they're everywhere, and I just wanted to make my own. So that's why. And there's another bit of gold. I really like this. This is so fancy. Like, seriously, so it looks so fancy, like something that you would find on a shirt. Or someone commented like it looks like a Christmassy pattern, like a packaging paper, like wrapping paper. I thought it was so funny. I lost count by now. 6, that was 7, so this is probably 8. I should probably number them, it would be easier. But I will just say next one. And next one is my obsession with crystals. I'm absolutely obsessed with crystals. I love them. I love the way they look. They are so sparkly and they're so magical, and I just made a little sparkly crystal cottage. And there's nothing more to say about this piece. But I can say that by this time I was kind of running out of ideas. And it was very disturbing because it was just the beginning. It's not even day 10. And it was disturbing me that I ran out of ideas so quickly. So yeah, my big, big fail. I wanted to draw a wreath with those really cute watercolor roses, and I wanted to use some blue pieces with this another Winsor and Newton ink that I like, and but somewhere along the way it became wonky. It's like I was drawing a pattern, and of course you guys gave me a lot of tips on how to fix that, so I will keep that in mind for next time. But it still looks decent. I mean, the colors are cool. I mean, I really like the plants separately. I just they don't look like a wreath. Just kind of like awkwardly random. And the next one took absolutely forever. It took me a whole day to draw it because of the background. The background is in Ecoline, and it's this liquid watercolor, which I wanted to try for some reason, even though I knew that this paper cannot handle water, and rightly so, it warped immediately, so because I had to paint the whole background blue. And it warped, and then I had to wait for it to dry and still wait for it to flatten. So this is the longest piece in the whole book. Definitely it took the longest, but it looks amazing. I'm absolutely happy with it. It has this really, you can see that I spent more time on it because it looks more detailed. There's more, I was fiddling with it more. So I like it a lot as well. Another piece that took forever. And there was a kind of a pattern starting that I was taking more and more time for each piece. And on top of that, in the last month, I started my own company. I made myself legal as an artist, so I had to deal with a lot of things with that. And on top of that, I had to think about different ways of getting income because you guys know how it's hard being an artist, especially when you're starting. It's really hard. So that was stressing me out. And on top of this, I had the challenge, which I did not want to stop. And but it was really taking longer and longer to finish each piece. And that was really starting to weigh on me because this is around past day 10, I think. And it's not even half. And I'm already getting really weighed down. So the more we get to the half, the more tired I felt and stressed and generally not really excited about the challenge anymore. So this piece is another washi tape piece. And my idea was that it would take much less time to create it. But because the other piece was so easy, it really took no time to apply the washi tape. However, that washi tape was really light, like lightly colored, and it's really hard to apply dark washi tape. Really, you can't see anything under, and so I couldn't see my lines. It was a lot of fiddling. All in all, I really like this piece. I mean, the gold hair, as you can see, I'm going completely loose here, and I think this is one of the last pieces. Yeah, this is the last piece. I'm using it in such a quantity. Because I was feeling like this was becoming like way too much. It was just every single piece had some gold in it. But I still love it. Look how shiny that is. You can see it on camera so well. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's metal. It's like it's covered in metal. I really like this piece. It's kind of funky looking. After this one that took me forever, again, the two pieces that were so long, I decided to go a little bit on the, quiet, more calm side and just do a little sketch of Alice and Cheshire. Alice in Wonderland was coming out and I'm really excited about the movie, so this was something that was on my mind a lot. And I just made a little tiny nonsensical illustration. There's just Cheshire with tiny Alice for some reason and they're on a cloud because why not? So it was really hard for me to actually color this cat. I remember that now because I had a limited amount of Copics. So it was really hard to blend those colors. And that's another part. I got amazing tips on how to fix that with just a limited amount of colors. And one thing that's amazing about this challenge is that the constant support that you guys were giving me. It's just amazing. All the comments. That was one of the big things. I know that's probably every YouTuber says that, but it was really helping me to just sit down, do it, and because I knew you guys were waiting for it. So yeah, thank you for that. Another easy piece, and I think I went into this rhythm where these pieces were drawn on days I had kind of like off, where I was going out, so they are really simple. And this one was just an idea. I wanted to draw citrus fruit. I really like to draw citrus fruit. Just, I don't know, there's something about the fruit slices that's really, really interesting. And I had all the colors here, so I just used those three colors, plus the gray, which is not really a color. I don't count it as a color. And I just made a tiny little illustration. There's no reasoning behind it. Like, there's no idea. There's just, I wanted to draw fruit. That was the idea. Oh no, this was already a Tuesday piece. No, then we are still, because I remember this was a piece I've done on Wednesday after a live stream when my heat gun died. It just broke down in the middle of a live stream, and you guys insisted I should make a little illustration, and it was amazing because I didn't have any ideas for an illustration. This was literally the middle of the stream. This was the middle of the challenge, and I was really tired, and this was the closest that I got to skipping a day, because my streams end at 10 p.m. and I still after that had to sit down and draw a picture, which I didn't have any idea for, and then edit it, make a voiceover and render it and upload it. And that, surprisingly, it takes some time. You know, these pictures usually take around an hour to draw, and then rendering in voiceover takes minimum of half an hour, and then it has to render, which unfortunately my computer takes its time, and it takes me around an hour minimum to render that 10-minute video. So yeah. But you guys gave me the idea for this picture, so it took me 40 minutes to draw this, which was amazing for me. And it's a Rupert, my heat gun, which was replaced by Arthur. Now I have an Arthur heat gun. Another tiny illustration here. This is like a take 2 on the wreath idea. I took all your comments and tips and tried to layer a bit more and have like this face poking from behind. It's kind of like an idea where that the person is poking through a bush full of flowers. And I really like how this turned out. It has like this vintage feel to it because of this ink pen. This guy here. It's a Pentel ink brush, and this thing is really amazing. I love. Look how sharp. The tip is so sharp. I love it. And it's a brush. It's a little bit tricky to use, but the effect is absolutely amazing. The only problem is that this is the last thing you should use. If you put something on top, you can. I don't know if you guys can see it here. I definitely can't see it on the camera. So, but the ink just kind of peeks through anything that you layer on top of it, even if it's dry. So. Next one is the watermelon skirt. This was supposed to be a little bit of like self-portrait. That's how you call it, I think. But I really... Does it look like me? I don't think so. I'm definitely not that thin. I'm gonna show you guys. But I saw this watermelon skirt on Pinterest, and I absolutely loved it. And I'm definitely going to make it into a DIY someday when I have more time. Just because this is such an amazing idea for a skirt, and it's so easy to make. It's literally, it's just, you dye a skirt. It might be a bit tricky, of course, but it's doable, which I love. So yeah, very simple idea. It's a girl wearing a watermelon skirt, and she's drawing watermelons in the background, so love it. And yes, I think this is where I started to... This was the picture where I started to actually take days off just so that I could get some rest. And either this one or this one, I don't even remember anymore. I really don't remember. But this one started another Pinterest piece. I didn't have any inspiration for what I wanted to draw. So I just went to Pinterest, I pulled out a few things, and I decided to draw them. I changed a few things here and there. These are desserts. I've added some things in the around it, made it into a small pattern, and I'm really tempted into creating a sticker sheet out of this thing later on. Especially those strawberries. I love those. It would be cool to have them actually with the gold as well. And this is the last piece when I'm using gold. This was like the last little hiccup, and after this one I don't use gold anymore. This piece here is probably the most creative piece I've made for this in this challenge. I feel it, like, personally, that I feel really big connection. I will definitely revisit this idea because I love the idea of those cotton balls. These are the cotton plants, and that every single of those cotton thingies is a bunny. There's just something so simple about it, but so like magical. I love it. Definitely. And I mean, definitely revisiting. And another thing here, the pattern. The pattern that, yeah, started simple and then I kind of messed it up somewhere. I just gave up on it. I don't have patience for it. And this is the last piece where I had the limited amount of Copics. Here I've already stolen a whole box of Copics from a friend, and I had plenty to choose from, so I've decided I almost completely switched to Copics. I'm not using colored pencils, I think, in any of these. Maybe into like a small little detail, but definitely not using colored pencils anymore. Mostly Copics. And I was really experimenting with Copics, with mixing them, with layering them, just trying to get used to the medium. And this one is another very simple piece. I wanted to draw lilacs, and this is the same way I drew the hydrangeas in my very first, no, it's actually my second YouTube video. And pink hair. I always wanted to have pink hair, and so it's kind of pink or orange. Both colors don't fit with my skin, as you guys can see now. I'm absolutely white and pink. So this is as far as I can go. These bits here. This is the pinkest I can go. Yes, this is a piece. Is it this one? Yes. I've had a lot of problems on Mondays and Tuesdays because these were the days when I create the 52-week challenge, painting and video after that. And these two things are so time consuming that creating something in the same day on top of that was really hard on me, really. And both times, this is the middle of the challenge already, so I was really, really tired by this time. I think I was whining about it in every single video, but especially here, it started to be obvious that I created this thing when I was so tired, I didn't even think about anything. And this one and the piece that I created a week after that are two of my most favorite pieces of them all. I really thought this would be a failure. Because this started as just such a doodle, barely asleep zombie mode. And it turned out into one of my favorites. I just absolutely love this little raccoon. Such a simple idea. It just proves to me that you don't need a lot of detail to have like an interesting illustration. Love this one. I'm still thinking what to do with it because I feel like it's a shame to just leave it in the sketchbook. And this is what I told you guys about how I've noticed that these were all illustrations, not really sketches. And I've decided to show you guys how I would really sketch. And so this piece is actually, this is a hamster from all of my stories. And I always start with these kind of sketches. I'm looking around because I wanted to show you guys my sketchbook, but I showed you before. You can always go back to one of my previous videos. Because I always draw hamsters this way, where they have this this shape, this water drop shape. And because I imagine them as like a little bag of some kind of, I don't want to say potatoes, just a bag filled with something, where you just pick it up by one corner and everything else falls to the bottom and creates this butt. And that's the nose, and that's the kind of shape that I create for the hamster. But then it doesn't look like a hamster at all, to me at least. And so when I create a proper illustration out of this sketch, I would always completely change the features, and that was especially in that, I'm gonna link it below if I remember as well. But if not, just look it up in the 52-week challenge. I believe it was the mirror theme when I created the illustration, actually the one that's behind me right there. And this hamster had a really, really ridiculous sketch, but I just changed it completely when I was doing the proper illustration. So that's how majority of my sketches actually are. I just make basic shapes just to get the idea down. Basic coloring, not even if not coloring sometimes, because like you guys saw in my sketchbook, I very rarely add any color. So color is for you guys. This one, another not very sketchy sketch. I'm really happy here. I was experimenting with layering colors. I wanted to have glowing stars, and this transition from yellow to pink, and I think it looks pretty good for a noob, for a newbie when it comes to Copics. It's pretty good. I'm happy. And Sailor Chibi Moon, and another big achievement for me. The galaxy, the Copic galaxy. It was something I was starting to feel really good about my Copic skills. Like compared to the beginning, I was feeling more confident about them, and more like I was like, okay, I'm getting somewhere. And so I was really happy with this. I wanted to measure my skills, and I was really happy how this one turned out. It really looks like a galaxy, and one thing I really wanted to draw is this girl that was kind of like skeptic, I think that's the word, that she was really afraid as well if I would succeed or not. I thought it was funny. Oh, and some people asked if this was her neck. No, this is a hair tie. I was just lazy and I've added the same color to her hair tie. That's just that much. This one was a sketch that was just a free sketch. That's just a freehand sketch. I didn't use any pencil underneath, and I wanted to try a bit more of a watercolor effect with Copics. So I drenched the paper with the colorless blender and painted on top of that, just layered different colors, created some poppies, and added this tiny little, there are 3 characters actually in this painting. You guys will not be able to see that. But there is a little bunny over here. You guys can see it on Facebook, I think. So there's a little bunny, there is the little umbrella man, and there's an owl on one of those plants. I like this one a lot. The colors are amazing. I mean, the background leaves a little bit to be... I could do better. But it's good enough. This one, it's actually my characters. I was inspired by your comments because someone asked me about my characters, my original characters from stories. And so I decided, I have them. I could draw them as well, especially that I didn't have any ideas at this point at all. I was just counting days till it was over, literally. But I have to say that I think it was this moment, this picture over here, when I decided, okay, it's enough, this feeling sorry for yourself thing I was doing. I've decided myself that I would do the challenge, so I have to just keep doing it. Otherwise, nobody is making me to do it. Nobody is making me do it. That's, I think, the proper way to say it. Next picture as well. These are a bit more recent, so I'm just kind of flipping through them because, yeah. But again, your ideas from comments from you guys. One person wanted me to draw ducks, and so I normally don't really do that. I don't take requests because I don't know. I have to feel connected with the idea. To draw it properly. But in this case, this just popped in my head, the rubber duckies, and I loved it, so that's why I drew it. This one is a number 2 after the raccoon. Excuse me. This is the second instance where I was in a zombie mode and I drew something. It's like I was possessed. It literally, even we were discussing it here with my boyfriend, and he said as well that this is not something that I would draw normally. This is just like someone else drew it, literally. And I absolutely love this style. It's so I will try to incorporate more of these kind of things into my own drawings, because I absolutely love the energy behind this one. It's really so. It was like I said in the video. I remember, I think, that the more I was tired, the more energy my pictures were having. It's like my energy got sucked out. Another picture that was supposed to be kind of like how I really sketch, because this is how I literally would prepare my illustrations. Just creating those random like little pictures, trying stuff out. Excuse me. Trying stuff out. Just blocking in basic ideas, like over here that there's some, distance. And this is also idea from the comments. Someone wanted a mushroom hut. It was a mushroom hut. I thought it was like a hut, like, a house. Not like the one you put on your head. My pronunciation, guys. But that was another thing where I got the idea from you guys, and I just felt the need to draw a small, like kind of a village, not too big one, because big ones are taking too much time. And is it the second to last? I don't know. The picture, the 29th picture, is probably I'm extremely proud of the coloring in this picture, let's put it this way. The color here in the background is so nicely even. The hair is really nice. It's just, I'm very satisfied with myself here. I mean, it doesn't compare to like real artists who work with Copics every single day, but I'm still, for a person who just got the first, hang of it, and I'm really, really excited. I have no idea where this dot is coming from, and I have another green one like over here. No idea. So this is Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Just thought I would draw her. And the last one, now that actually, this is a picture I drew today. Actually, yesterday. It's past midnight. It's past 1 actually at night. Crazy schedule I have. So this is my last picture, and I wasn't very happy with it. I felt a lot of pressure for the last picture. I wanted it to be perfect and really, really special. But everything I did it went just wrong. So I was really unhappy with it, but now after a few hours, when I just flipped through every single one of them and I looked at this one, it's actually really nice. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good picture. I have no complaints with this one. Except that leg, because it just looks weird. Let's be honest here. And that's it. I have a few pages left. I'm not exactly sure. I think I already passed the half. I'm gonna count the pages, because I would like to do another one of those challenges this year. I would like to have the other half of this sketchbook for the Inktober, if it works out. But now that I managed to do 30 days of a sketchbook challenge, I'm pretty sure I can manage Inktober as well. And perhaps even I would like to try to make it into a special project and maybe create for once a story with the illustrations. I've been kind of playing with that idea for a while, so perhaps I've mentioned it somewhere. I'm not exactly sure, but usually that's how it goes when the ideas are kind of like brewing in my head. It's the same with Patreon, that I'm really working hard right now on setting up. It was brewing in my head for quite a while before I actually did something with it. So yeah, thank you so very much for watching, guys, and being with me through those 30 days. I hope I did not whine too much, that you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, tell me please, what do you think about that facecam thing? Is it adding something to the videos? And because I would really like to use it in the art chats. Just, I don't know, I'm testing that idea. It's brewing in my head as well. And I think, you know, it's kind of adds another level of, you know, contact between us. So, and also, if you guys have any ideas for our chats, because I'm absolutely out at the moment of ideas. If you guys have any ideas for our chat, please let me know in the comments. And we will see if what we can do about it. So thank you so very much for watching. I'm gonna go to sleep now because it's a probably good idea. Bye!